Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wastelander, an ATF podcast. I'm your host, Wastelander, and my co-host here is Filthy Moose.
What's up?
Today we have a couple of guests here, dorpburgers, Makyrov, and Gipka. Take it away, Moose.
Yeah, we got LPM. I'm sorry, Moderator Makyrov here.
Yeah, thank you for the correction,
man. So
I think despite the shock of it now, I think I'll grow in with time.
Yeah, keeping it simple.
I'd fucking hate to be an RPM right now, though.
Helper. Dude. But yeah, you own two factions, right? The Cytrec Anomaly, TCA and ATF. Oh god, and the Market, Deep Winter faction.
Did you say I own ATF? Yeah, yes, I do. Thank you.
Yeah, you own ATF.
But yes, don't toot my horn too much, but I do own two factions. One being a really outdated lore faction I just keep around as a passion project, and current fan faction for Mirage.
How's the Cytrec Anomaly? How's it like running that faction? Like, is it like really, it takes up a lot of your time? Like, it's really busy to like manage everything.
I guess so. I mean, my staff there were really helpful and they're really active. They treat each other pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah. And Dorp, don't you host for you host for both the Market and Cytrec Anomaly?
Yeah, I'm an MR in the TCA and a HR in Market.
Yeah, dude, doing those grill. The Market hosts are like fire. We'll get to that in a sec. But the Cytrec Anomaly hosts, those are really fun too. I'm a secutor there, and man, I remember those grill hosts you do where we'd all just like grill under the bridge or something, and have a good time.
You act like you go to every single one. You are not the fucking representative.
Shed walks up. He's like, "Hey guys."
I mean, I do attend. I do attend some of the TC hosts. They are pretty fun. I like the we did one with a meeting where we had people like meet up with one of the HRs or someone, and like we had to like propose ideas for like future projects. And I said some crazy stuff like, "Oh, what if we like replace someone's legs?"
I'm gonna give you a faction owner inside tip. When a faction host or like a hoster goes in game and has a host where you're like, "Oh, come on guys, give me ideas," it means they have no fucking clue what they're doing. they want a pool for ideas, and they want to figure out what the group wants and how to what to propose to higher ups. Now, that's not flawed, but it's really showing.
I mean, we had a lot of people propose some pretty cool ideas, like some guy that was like, what's it called, BML or something. He's the cyborg people or whatever you call him. He's like, he proposed an idea of like some kind of like foldable shield or something, where like it could be like installed on his arm so he could like protect people from firefights. And like I gave the crazy idea of like replacing someone's legs with like the thrusters of a drone or something, and like
for the first one, you'd get shot and then the fucking shield would bounce into your fucking head and you'd fall over and be like,
"That is true."
And then the second one, you'd try to turn on the thrusters and then they'd blow your foot off.
That is true. I don't know. The guy over there was
the real question is, what if you don't have feet?
Well, that is true.
Well, then you'd fucking look like Astro Boy in the beginning of the movie.
that is true. And then I gave the idea of like having some kind of like I took inspiration from SS13, so it sounds stupid, but I'm like, what if we had like some kind of like metabot or meta drone, or I don't freaking know. And they like the idea.
You mean an autodoc, you idiot?
Well, no,
you don't even play SS13. You don't even know.
I'm kidding.
Like a robot autodoc that could like fly around and stuff. I don't know. It was man, that's TCA. They got some like crazy ideas going on.
There's nothing stopping you from like taping 2 syringes to a drone and just like telling it to go do stuff.
The thing about TCA is they're boundless ideas and multiple concepts, but none of them can actually. Most of the time, they never can logically be roleplayed within the scope of Mirage.
Yeah,
whether that's due to faulty lore writing or just simply the restrictions of logic.
Yeah,
you gotta find a route around. My joke.
It's funny because it's an ATF song.
Shut up.
Yeah, like wouldn't it be kind of hard to like get some of the like technology you need for TCA to like build stuff and all that since it's the wasteland?
Well, considering they're tech hoarders, then
Well, I mean, yeah, that is true.
probably
You know,
got
and-
reserves.
In the scope of ATF today, it's never about, if you could find it. It's if you can get it approved.
That that is true.
TBH, yeah.
You can literally pull one out your ass, and if you have good enough lore, you'll get it approved.
Wait, how did you like come up with the idea of the Cytrec Anomaly though? Like the whole concept?
I did not, and that
Oh,
that
sure. Really?
respective, credit goes to Sir Androve, who
Yeah, Sir Andrew too.
initially tried to submit the faction as a complete Warhammer clone, the transhumanists from that game. And it didn't pass through because he wanted them to be directly hostile, and he wanted them
Yeah.
to,
Steal from
Play
people and
up-
shit.
well, that's not quite what I meant, but like they'd fucking be like, we must worship the gods.
The gods of
Dear
the
God.
And,
motherboard.
it
The
would cause
microwave.
problems. But then me and I think Egypt, forgot, he has 80 million usernames, but Egyptian firepower, whatever.
Yeah.
He helped me out. We combined our lores, and I wrote a bunch of new shit for Cytrec, and we got it approved.
I gotta give it
Great
to you, man.
road.
You're a good writer. Like those market logs that you'd write sometimes, like for the other hosts we had, dude. They're like I know I write like lengthy logs sometimes, but like yours were like really detailed and like really good.
Thing
Honestly,
is,
like,
I
to
never
read.
really try to focus on length more so than just detail. And sometimes I get caught up in trying to put as much detail into
Same
it
here.
that it ends up coming out fucking I dastardly dashed through the doorway or some shit like that. When it could be simplified, but I like to invoke the reader and try to get them involved.
Mm-hmm.
I
Where
like that.
normally log reading is such a tedious thing. It's like gains, losses, attendees. We did
We
this.
have added to the
vinyl.
bag $2 and like a piece of lint.
We have lost our grill.
Oh god. Oh yeah, I remember that happened in a host, right? Gipka lost his grill or something.
Yeah, it blew up with
Didn't
the rest
you
of the house
find
after
it?
we fucking
Like,
torched
didn't
it.
you find it in the bunker?
Yeah, I remember that. That was funny. The market though, like that, the originally owned by Skeleton. I like what you're doing with it though, like keeping it Darwinistic and all that, and like not really having them expand and take over stuff or territories.
Realistically, within the scope of the game in its current state, that shit wouldn't quite be possible. After the, faction wars, like the fabled shit with the USCPF and the coalition, the region, I've been role-playing it as being more of
Yeah.
a ghost town, like a tourist attraction for people that want to get away from the main scope of the wasteland
Mm-hmm.
and just want to settle down. But even within it, it has its own atrocities and horrors that may go bump in the night, if you get what I'm saying.
I'm not gonna lie, man. The market head oak, he scares me. He scares me sometimes. I remember that one first host we had for the market when he came back, and he walked in with his snowy beard, and he whipped Scrappy into shape. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude,
Legend
I
fucking
would be
has it that he can
afraid.
punch
I
you
would
with
be
his beard.
afraid if you didn't say snowy beard. It makes it sound like Santa Claus, dude.
No,
on,
like
man.
yeah, I mean he was like he's a good leader for the
It's more
market.
like a Chris Crinkle than fucking Santa Claus, man.
Well, yeah. I like what you're doing with the market and like Drosted and all that. I know not a lot of people play Deep Winter anymore. Hopefully, like
Oh yeah,
Oh.
it's definitely hard to get fucking people in. Sorry to cut you off there. Like it's taken a long time to build up, but it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter about activity at the end of the day unless you're trying to do major scope events. But as long as you're just trying to tell a story, you don't need that many people. You just need a certain pocket.
that's true.
And sometimes it's easier to have 10 or so consistently because
Yeah.
new people showing up, they won't know the story, they don't want to understand it, and then they'll just try to insert
true.
themselves into the scope of things without
I
understanding.
totally agree.
And then that's where complications arise.
You guys
Yeah.
remember when Drasted or Drosted was first added, and it was like that was.
Yep, and then the game broke for a few days. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Correct me
Didn't
if I'm wrong.
Skeleton build it?
Yes. Skelly, Alpine, and a few others. You know, I would.
I'm not gonna lie, it's really well
That's
built.
why it looks drastically different compared to the rest of the
I-
game.
I kind of like it. I like the way
Not to diss anyone.
It's a really good
Yeah.
build style, yeah.
What were you gonna say though, Wastelander?
Yeah, so wasn't the militia, the CDF or whatever they were called back then, weren't they like in conflict with the market at one point?
Militia, as in
Like,
groundwalkers.
yeah, the ground walkers and all them.
I believe so, but there were originally there was a force of groundwalkers or like a militia in Drostead that was, I think, made up of some like CDF. I don't know if they were CDF anymore, but I know they were at one point or were aspiring to be. And they were trained by ACMF deserters that also took shelter within the town. That's a long since abandoned concept because, activity and shit and lost to time as the game's progressed. But, if I ever had the chance to like try to start that up again, I would.
I was a ground walker for quite a long time, and I remember we were told we couldn't go into Drestead or Drosteed, whatever. I couldn't remember why. Yeah, but
When would you say that was?
Probably 2017, 2018, before Mirage came out. It was back when Deep Six and Deep Winter were the big games.
People always say Deep Six is so good. Deep Six never really felt like an ATF game. It always felt
Deep
like
Six felt like Dark RP.
Yeah,
Town and
Fucking
city
Gmod
RP.
Dark RP.
City roleplay. Everyone just conglomerated
You
at the
have
bar.
no idea how many TCA role players, not Cytrec, but Throwcrest, just like clouded on that game for so long.
Yeah,
And
that's
they just
true.
sit on the corner of South Side near the bar and just combat roleplay. Like, just beat the ever living shit out of anyone that walked past. It's
And then
like,
they'd respawn the next server.
yep,
Those were
they'd die, and then they'd be like, "Well, let's get a move on, fellas. Same time tomorrow."
We're server hopping, boys. And then the server dies.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
Rinse,
that.
fucking
I
repeat.
remember
It's
that.
an endless cycle.
when the van came
Well,
out.
no, it ended when the game died, and
Oh,
then they
yeah.
tried to revive it, and then it happened again, and then the game died again.
And then they
Then
tried
it-
to revive it again, and then it died again.
Yeah. I was thinking, what if they
They're
like?
trying.
I know Deep Winter has like an ongoing story currently, but what if they like rebooted it? Like, wouldn't that bring a lot of activity back?
It doesn't really have an ongoing story. People just roleplay in it. It's not really picked up by the admin teams anymore.
The only
Admin
ongoing
teams
story is really with the market.
and
Yes.
CSA and whatever.
Yeah.
Admiral Gene is doing a pretty good job at keeping that shit afloat.
Yeah, he is.
That thing
Similarly
the
with
Rat
the
Aid-
Rat 8 character.
The demon mutant.
But
Yeah.
as you were saying about a reboot, I don't know if anyone would support that idea. But if Mirage were to continue being boring and the story was not moving forward enough, people could go back and play those old games as like kind of like an in between, like an elevator sequence to
Yeah.
the next big event.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a shame because Deep Winter's like I used to not play it that much, but then when I got into the market and like I started actually like role playing there and getting into it, I'm like, damn, this is actually kind of fun. Like compared to like Mirage, I don't know what it is about having like the snowy
It's
wasteland.
easier
and all
to
that.
immerse yourself in. I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest difference.
And
That's
I think
true.
I think
It's
no
definitely-
metavision also like
Yep.
sorry for interrupting you.
And
I
the
think no
map-
metavision also it prevents like clogging of major places.
That's true.
Exactly. Yeah. No metavision. Like one of the best things about Deep Winter was the fact that you could this isn't my quote. I totally stole this, but you could walk around the map for an hour and never see a single person.
That's true.
So many people have said that shit that it's not even able to be quoted anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from fucking anonymous. Dude.
Probably the
I-
best thing about Deep Winter was the fact that you could just go around and do whatever you want and not have to worry about
But
walking
you
into CG and
technically still do that in Mirage.
Yeah, yeah.
Most of the faction places are there in the corners of the map or
yeah.
barred off. And that still happened in
Mm-hmm.
Deep Winter. There were like places where fan factions were like, well, we're sitting here. We got people in here every day at this one spot all day, every
Yeah.
day. You can't walk in."
would shoot you. Sorry.
Yeah. and True story. That's why the rule is there now
For what?
about fan factions not being able to permanently claim land.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the market, like you guys don't like have NPC guards and all that, right? Since we're kind of yeah, because we'd be a small Darwinistic force, anyways. That focuses on like defense.
I'm more
rather than
like
offense.
to prevent that stuff. I make people like think about what they're doing before they do it. Like I remind them of certain like components at like key, like at play in the role play.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were to break into this place, chances are you likely wouldn't survive, thus making it like in like unnecessary venture, if you get my meaning.
One thing I've seen Mac do for Deep Winter is he'll tell you to roll on a website, and he'll pick if it's higher or lower, so you can't even like fucking decide if it's gonna be a good roll or not.
I
for,
like that. I
random
like
events.
I like the idea of chance and like not having everything just completely scripted. I get you gotta have like orders somewhere, but like having it like rolling and all that, and like kind of going along with the flow and with whatever happens. I like that. I feel like it puts a lot more like immersion, I guess you could say.
I don't force people to roll for everything. I just do
Yeah.
it in events that people participate in with me.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it makes it more fun.
Yeah,
And-
definitely.
A little more
Yeah.
inclusive. Not all about speed typing. There's a lot of people who can't type faster than the speed of light, and a lot of times they get left behind in a lot of faction role plays, and I can tell that a lot of these factions are a lot different than that.
Yeah, not everyone's a pole meister, so you win some, you lose some.
Oh, nice name drop, dude.
Hey, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, you don't want to be another Gipka, am I right, guys?
You don't want to be another Makyrov, dude. His factions suck. Have you heard about him?
Oh, well, fuck you, dude. You're the one who fucking...
You're the one who swung first. Come on.
Oh god.
Settle down.
You want to be one of the gentlemen so bad.
Yeah, what was it like being in LPM or moderator? My bad. What was it like being
nice.
what was it like being a moderator or LPM, whatever you want to call it, like before you resigned?
I became LPM during, Deep Winter. And, for the scope of what it was, the team felt divided in a lot of ways, whether it was like drama or, issues with like factions or map changes or whatever. But it felt, it was nice. It was really compact.
What about
However, with time, I felt myself growing more like unnecessarily hostile and like defensive, and there was a lot of shit that went down per se. I don't know if I'm liable to talk about most of it, but you can just surmise from looking back at that time.
Yeah.
With shit like people like Andre and such other.
Oh dear God. How's it like being a LPM or moderator now, like compared to like back then? Like,
back then I was an LPM, but now I am a moderator.
That's right.
There's a big difference.
Big difference.
Yeah, quote unquote, a big difference. Like stretching my fingers apart, big. Back then, one of the most notable differences, I felt like I didn't have as much of a voice. I felt like one of those, would just work in, day out, didn't really talk much about shit. Chimed in when I was involved, but really relatively stayed out of most stuff. Now I like stick my nose in a lot of things, not in a bad way. I should rephrase that. I really try to get involved as much as I can. Like, lore, events, actions, etc. One of the biggest changes I felt like voice wise, and the team is a lot more, unified.
Yeah.
I see half as much like 10-hour rants in faction relations anymore. I never see
guys. My faction should not have. Guys,
shut up.
Your faction sucks.
You can't survive the fall off of this bridge. You must die. Yeah.
Velocity of that car door not allowed.
Oh God.
Everyone on the team very friendly, very nice, very easy to work with, and just generally it's a joy to moderate. I wouldn't have said that before, and it feels almost cheesy to say, but I like doing it to pass the time. It's a good way to make new friends, meet new people.
Yeah.
And eventually, doing this stuff long enough, you can maybe put it on a job resume of some kind. You know,
I mean,
worked
yeah,
in
that
an
could.
online community. You're good with like handling issues with other people.
Yeah,
You're
good with
at
communicating.
yeah, being a supervisor, etc.
Yeah, definitely something I'd.
Oh, shut up, dude. You're gonna put fucking Outcast podcast
Well, Mac, you're
extraordinaire.
gonna be like, you're gonna have on your resume fucking Discord moderator. So
Yeah.
I'm not really
ATF,
sure.
ATF Roblox YouTuber
I'm
guys.
just saying. I'm just saying.
Please,
We're
please
one.
hire me.
We're one in the same. Okay. We're
Please.
two nuts falling out of the same fucking bag. All right.
Oh my.
That was a horrible. That was a horrible thing to say. I'm sorry.
Just said
That's
tree.
a
You could
very
said
odd
anything except
analogy.
bad.
I said
Very
bag.
odd analogy.
I was thinking about saying tree, but I already said nuts. Like I was like, what can I say here? It doesn't make it look like. I was like, shit. It's too late.
We're both the two same nuts falling out of that one pistachio bag, man. Like, come on.
Thank you. All I needed, pistachio. Thank you.
Exactly.
How does it feel to own two drastically different factions like the Market and Cytrec? Does it conflict how you lead both of them, or not really a problem?
No, well, no, because they're both in different games, which means they have way different like community, staff, etc. Even though I have some HRs in Market and TCA, activity is way much different. It's not really about trying to get people to actively do shit in the Market because it's more of a passion project. Like I said, and people can really post whatever, do whatever, as long as it fits in with the confines of like what I want and the lore demands per se. And with TCA, it's much more of an actual like job because you have to constantly like think of new shit because Mirage can't carry your story forever and you gotta innovate and find new ways. Not to quote H3H3 or anything, but I would love to see the Market survive in ATF 7.
Yeah.
You gotta
I'd love
adapt
to see
and
it.
overcome.
You guys remember when the Dwellers came back? They were a Deep Winter faction, the Dwellers, weren't they?
I owned the Dwellers.
You did, yeah.
And then everyone told me I couldn't bring them into Mirage, and then I slapped them in the face and did it anyway. And a lot of people were mad that day, but I felt proud.
I thought it was a pleasant surprise because I was part of the Dwellers for a couple of days, and then I went inactive. It was way longer.
As with most factions, it is a sad tale, but it occurs every day.
What happened to the Dwellers in Mirage?
Well, it is a long story, but the quick way of surmising it is, token Market faction like fucking Caravaneer, and then there was another one which were like smugglers. They were called the Racketeers.
Oh, yeah, the Syndicate.
Both of our factions. Smartmouth led the Racketeers, I believe. Both of our factions were drastically, inactive because everyone had done that shit all before and was much more interested in things like the SLF, the TLB, Myriad, etc. And we ended up going fucking cuckoo kaga inactive, and then that's around the time that I left ATF. Both, from an administrative standpoint and just generally playing the game. I stuck around to finish a few character storylines, but I was pretty much just gone at that time.
Yeah.
So I handed it off to Cinnabon. Not a very good choice thinking it through because he deleted the group and the Discord. But he did make a semi-good choice. He went to partner with Smartmouth, and they combined both the Racketeers and the Dwellers into a new faction called Syndicate, which, ironically enough, still went inactive for quite some time, but has lasted pretty long.
Yeah, we actually talked about the Syndicate on our last episode of the podcast with Terra Verbis. It was
well, if we talked about the Syndicate, I think Tara would be talking all day. So
That's true.
Definitely.
I remember he said that. Said rumor has it they host every 10 years. So.
Well, let us hope that day is not soon.
Yeah.
But like what got you back into like ATF like after you resigned your first time and like
I resigned initially in the heat of a case of drama between both friends and the staff team generally. Just everything was tense, everything was like felt really amped up. Chad was trying to like fucking. He had like the dev pass stuff up for like $400 to $300. If I remember
I remember
correctly.
that shit.
And it was like all this shit going on. I was just like, get me away. Get me away. Plus, my computer was really shit, and it was like a chore to play ATF most of the time.
Yeah.
I decided to leave. I was a commander in SEALs, and I owned the Dwellers at the time. So I left, I did my bearings, and paid my dues, and then I ghosted, essentially. And it was, slow ride, as every person who says they quit ATF, they eventually are like, fuck, what am I going to do now? And then they end up coming back. True story, I played again, like I got on night of my birthday, which was July 14th in 2019. And, I was playing, I made a new character. He was this amnesiac guy because I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted his story to be. So I was just like, fuck it. He's not even going to know what his own story is. So I was fucking around and I met this group of guys. They were just crowding around their friend in a hospital. And, not to sound gay or anything, but one of the guys leading it is the guy in this call, Gipka.
Hello.
I would like to speak on that because my memory is shit and I can't really remember much.
Yeah. Fucking Scrappy was like, he was dying.
Oh, wait, I was there? I was there.
I think it was Shad. It was a really long time ago.
What happened? I don't remember.
I don't remember either, bro.
Well,
I fucking bump into this random like dude and like an inmate jumps. I'm like, who the fuck are you?
I'm like, hi.
I'm here for my therapist, and I'm like, who the fuck?
I'm like, my name's John Doe. Like, I didn't even have a name for him. But, he went on to be, one of my most developed characters.
You still have him?
Story standpoint. Yeah. His name is
nice.
Kaya now. Kaya Ratso.
Oh, the Ratso bloodline.
A sad story that is. A story for another day as well. From that point on, he invited me to his Discord server. My name was different at the time, so they didn't recognize me as a former staff veteran. Like,
I didn't even know who this nigga was, honestly. Cut that out. I didn't even say that.
It's fine.
No, they didn't recognize me as like being past staff, so they didn't immediately start licking my nuts or anything, right? So I joined their Discord, and they're all just hanging out. It's like 200 people in there at the time, and it was called Bratown. And for once, I was never really a fan of those like cult of personality, like friend group. Oh yeah, we so cool. We hang out in the VC all day until I hung out with them, and I was like, this is kind of cool because one, it wasn't staff. Two, it wasn't people trying to get edge up on other people. It was mostly a friendly environment.
Yeah.
It was rampant shitpost stuff, like Central, but it was
It still is random fucking shitpost Central, dude. Nothing has changed.
Dude, like I was in there today, and like it's like 100 fucking posts a second, like of videos, and it's like so much.
It's mostly Tony.
I filled a terabyte with memes.
Oh god.
On my fucking computer.
Terabyte.
I don't have a terabyte.
A whole terabyte. You know how much that is? How many games I can download with that? How many copies of Red Dead I can download with that much space, dude?
1.5.
A lot. God damn it.
Another Red Dead fan here.
After that point, it was just really a friendly environment in that Discord server, despite the shit that went on. And, it inspired me to start picking up shit again. The first step to that was like getting the market from Alpine, who had offered it to me originally. I hadn't been in full ownership of it at the time because my computer was fucked up. But around that time, I had the motivation, and I had like a whole crew of people that were like willing to RP with me, willing to hang out and, just do shit without me having to fucking suck up to them, And we got it up, we got it started. I introduced my new characters. We started like storylines and shit. It was so good. It was like so I hate to use the word wholesome, but it wasn't problematic. That's the best way of putting it. So long story short, we went on. I got myself a Rad 8 approved. I started getting more active in Deep Winter after that. Fast forward to like September-ish, I'm more involved in Flashstorm. I start talking again, and then next thing I know, fucking Toby pings me in the general chat, and he's like, "Well, hey, guess what? You won the LPM votes," and I was like, "Oh!" And normally, if I hadn't met those same people months ago, I wouldn't have had the motivation or the gall to even accept that offer if it was brought to me again. I probably wouldn't even have been in the Discord. I'm gonna be plain and simple with you. And shit, I got trial again. We went through the whole process. There were a bunch of other people with me, awesome people. Most of them are gone now, but here we are now.
On a podcast with a bunch of
on a sad, depraved, doomed to fail podcast, just like every single other one. But I'm
It's
here
kind of mean,
nonetheless.
bro. I'm gonna be
Flashcast
honest with you. It's
too,
pretty
man.
mean.
Dude, just listen. The curse of ATF podcasts. They're always doomed to fail. You saw Flashcast. You saw whatever the fuck Seamoose made.
that was Flashcast.
No, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
Seamoose
Mills
made
did
Flashcast.
Yeah,
that.
but we built.
Yeah, Mills and Seamoose.
There was ATF talk. I don't know.
ATF.
ATF talk. That's so creative.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I thought there was just Flashcast, and I remember I watched one of their podcasts like years ago. They did it on like SoundCloud or something. I don't know.
I was
And
actually
they were-
on one of their podcasts.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
yeah. That's what inspired me to start this.
I remember just watching their podcast. They talked about TSRs for like a straight hour or something. I don't know. I was like, what?
I was on the one about technology, and I was such a squeaker. I only said like 10 words because I was like 13. That was a long time ago now. Deep Winter was like a fragile gem. It was when Mirage
Was
came
that
around.
during Deep Winter for you?
Yeah, it was that was Deep Winter, late stages
That
of
was
Deep
like
Winter.
3 or 4 years ago by now. I should let you know.
3 or 4.
Good lord.
Jeez.
I remember the days in Deep Winter where everyone just went to the den. Just everyone was there.
You say that, but then earlier you were like, "Well, there's no Metavision. No one cluttered." Blah blah blah.
Well, you see, when you guys remember the Christmas event when it turned into 2040, and the typhus outbreak and everything, and that nobody was at the den, so everybody was scattered around. That kept everybody out of the den.
Yeah, I kind of like now how like not that many people go to the den anymore, and everyone's like like just in South Side or just spread out. Sometimes they go to Drosted.
Oh, that's because the
Southside's
CDF,
cool, guys.
CDF is inactive and the sewers are death trap. You managed to find yourself in there.
Sewers and Mirage or Death Trap. You got Nero down there.
Oh my!
I remember-
Nero is a pencil neck bitch. I could make him fucking bench press a puppy.
Oh my!
Him and the marionette going at it though.
It's not
Marionette.
marionette. It's Martinet.
Oh, Martinet, my
Martinet.
bad. My bad.
Martinet.
I don't know the fucking French word, dude. Shut the fuck up.
I think you're stupid.
I may be stupid.
I may be
I'm
stupid.
not even gonna add on to that. Just I may be
It may be stupid.
Man.
Yeah.
But would you say that the community now in like ATF and all that is like a lot better than how it used to be back when you were an LPM back then, like before you resigned?
It's definitely way bigger. I should say that. And with that, because it makes a lot more instances of horrible people.
Mhm.
No, not to talk
Yeah.
down on ATF. There are certainly a lot more like invested people, but with that comes
Yeah.
its fair share of morons. I would say they're more involved and engaged. Back then,
That's
seeing
good.
an LPM was like seeing Bigfoot. Like it was like never. And then
Yeah, I
when you
remember.
did get to role play
Even
with them,
start a Mirage, dude. I swear.
Like I remember back then, like you'd see an LPM once in a blue moon, and now they're like patrolling Mirage or everything. It's It's nice that everyone's a lot more
fucking
engaging.
land. It's their land, dude.
Their land.
This is hallowed ground.
Oh god.
You never realize how much people play until you find out that all these level 1000s have played for 45 days straight. Like,
Yeah, that's.
well, not straight. Yeah, nothing wrong with it. It's just because it's been.
I'm only
2.5
level
years?
300. I can't really.
I'll have you know, I'm level 1,156.
Yeah, on
That's
my
so
old
cool,
account.
dude. Thank you for telling us.
I'll be honest.
Okay.
On my old account, I'm like level 1060.
All right, no.
You
I
got the
was
same
JK.
amount of hours
No,
as
no,
me.
no,
You're
no,
level
no.
1000. If
If
it's
not
level
more.
1000.
Yeah, I remember when.
And you're not even an admin. You have
Ah,
no excuse, Gipka.
I have no excuse.
Where's your life? Where did it go?
And Max like, it's my job. I need to. My people need me.
Yeah, I'm like fucking Batman or some shit. Fucking.
Yeah,
what the city deserves, but what it needs.
yeah, I remember.
Some of them don't want you. It's mostly the FRP.
That is true.
FRP, fucking. Yeah, I fucking like they don't know, like they don't realize I'm an admin. Like they fucking start RSing in my face, and I fucking hit them with the DM. I'm like, do not do that. That is a
Oh,
very bad
shit.
thing to do. And then
I
it's like
think I've
I'm
seen that
grabbing them
before.
by the throat.
Cold sweat.
Yeah, I remember Mirage. Wasn't Mirage really its release was really hyped up, and it got
Yeah.
a lot of people to start playing. And that's why a lot of people that play Mirage these days, they're not even most of them haven't really heard of the older ATF games, or let alone even played them.
Yeah, I think it was the first ATF game that they put ads out for, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah, I remember that thing got to 1 million visits real quick. Mirage.
The way it feels now is that sorry for interrupting you, but Mirage is like the most mainstream ATF that ever has been. You
I
know what
mean, you're not wrong.
Definitely
remember-
way more monetized.
Like,
I think that's
Yeah.
where it
it's gonna die
kicks
off.
into a different
And then
gear.
I'm like,
Yeah, that's true. I just remember back in the old days when there'd only be 50 people that ever played 50 people on Deep Winter or Deep 6 just playing, and then Mirage came out and the servers filled
Yeah,
up
for
real quick.
both Farlands and every old ATF game, there'd only be one server, and it'd be full of 50 people. But for Mirage, there's 900 every day.
That's true.
It's one of the main changes.
Yeah, and then back
usually there's only like one good one now.
that's true. There's only
Well,
a few
I
good
wouldn't
ones.
really say that. You could find roleplay in any sort of place. Well, I always say the story is what you make it out to be.
That's true.
There are plenty of people that think Mirage is boring, and while the main story is kind of a drag, you and just a few friends can turn just simple prop placer build out in the fucking desert into a shop or a store or any sort of thing, and build and weave your own story around it.
Yeah,
Development,
it's a lot of fun.
as long as you don't ass pull shit, you got to work up to it. And if somebody offers you an insane amount of money, don't take it. And if you do, make it very small compared to what they said it was.
Yeah.
I saw that I know you get fucking dogged on this a lot for ATF survival. I don't know if that was
Yes,
you.
that was me.
Survival mode.
Yep.
I never really saw the point of auto PTK in the sense that
There was no
not
auto
every
PTK. That was a
situation-
lie. That was just people trying to
Oh.
bully SM players. That was never true.
I kind of agree with a small semblance of that idea. You should give PTK in situations where it is logical, and I think that's how the rules work nowadays.
Yeah.
Not everyone treats it like that, and it's always just fucking aim at your head. PTK.
People with main character syndrome just never giving up PTK or PTSK.
I like this guy. I like this character. I'm sorry. You can't
Nah.
kill me.
Your
Yeah.
excuse? I like this character.
And then
Sorry.
there's not even a problem with that, but some people that do that are people that go out of their way to attack other people
That's
and
true.
try to mess with them. Those are the people that are hypocritical for saying that, because they should be just as liable to lose their character as they are trying to take other people's.
I mean, at least give a server kill. Come on.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird how even though it was don't do server kills. Though the Mirage story is linear, it's still a thing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's a weird universe in
It's
Mirage.
out of a host.
Yeah, I
Or
agree with you.
Really matters your character guide or not. then like you should be allowed to server kill.
It's more of a way to just satisfy the people who want to go out attacking random people and want to kill them, and then like it's an easier way to keep your character and not get dogged down by the combat role players.
Fair
Yeah.
point.
I remember, I don't know if it's just me, but back in like the Deep Six, Deep Winter days, like it was really rare for people to just give you PTK. Like even in
Mhm.
logical situations, they just like didn't give it, and like it was really no big deal. Like people didn't really like the admins didn't really crack down on it, or at
Yeah.
least from my standpoint, like it was just a really rare thing to do. And then I feel like now in like Mirage and even like other games, I feel like they're a lot more like willing to lose their character, or at least give a server kill.
Most characters in games like Deep Winter, most of them were lost in like faction battles. Like I lost my
Yeah.
character in the war between the Groundwalkers and Penumbra.
Oh yeah, didn't you tell us about that? Wait, didn't you
Yeah.
guys burn down a farmhouse or something?
I think if I'm correct, the ACMF like turned on the ACMF remnants or deserters or whatever. They turned on Penumbra and burnt down the farmhouse, and it became a model or whatever. You can see it to this day. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and the
cool.
very skeletons of the one guy that got mowed down at the fucking front door. And
Oh, man.
MG.
Rip.
I got bayoneted with and gutted.
Ooh,
Yeah, I mean,
that's gotta
I
hurt.
didn't have to die, but I saw it as kind of realistic, and so I
Good
just
on you. That makes the story a lot more like interesting and realistic.
oh yeah, that was like the same day that Bugs Bunny or whatever however you pronounce his name, he's an LPM now. Uh,
The guy from
yeah.
Looney Tunes?
No, the BZ or GBX.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, him. His Groundwalker like completely deserted and started murdering other Groundwalkers. It was I remember
Oh,
I
God.
him and I had traveled with him a couple of times before, and he was always obsessed with like finding gasoline or something like that. It was
Oh,
hilarious.
God.
That was again like Mac was saying earlier. That was 4 or 5 years ago, a long time ago.
Jeez. I feel bad that Deep Wind is just not as like active anymore, to be honest.
It was a really
Like,
fragile community. If now that there's so many other games besides it, there's a lot of other choices. I mean, you got the what are they called? Spark games.
yeah,
Um,
Spark.
those get more attention than Deep Winter, which is really
All I'm
sad.
saying is Deep
No,
Winter
they do
remaster
not.
win.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
Well,
people. A lot
more
of people
than Deep
play.
Winter, but not
Yeah.
Mirage,
Oh
definitely.
no,
Yeah, not
no.
Mirage.
I'm not
It's
saying
like a
Mirage.
barren wasteland compared to Mirage.
No,
That's
not even
true.
close to Mirage. No, but they do get a lot more attention than Deep Winter.
When are they gonna remaster Mirage already? Project Spark. Oh god, could you imagine? Yeah, they're coming out with like Isle, which is like a rain remaster. All I'm saying
Mhm.
that's like I've seen like some of the map by like joining the game, like walking around all that. It's really
The
big.
map's really nice.
It's
Yeah.
doomed.
And they added
I'm telling
club
you,
boats into it.
it's doomed to suffer the Spark syndrome of being active for a good while, and then FRP clouds it, and then it dies.
Yeah, I remember that was the same thing with 3R when it came out. Like everyone was hyped for it, especially the older role players that have been around for a while. And
Yep.
then like they role played in it, and like so did I. It was really fun. And then like after like a few weeks, it's just full of FRP, and then eventually just kind of died.
Literally
They're still
every
doing.
character in Rain dies from a sand shark.
Dude, I've had characters die
Yeah.
from a sand shark.
The
Freaking
sand sharks are kids.
God. Yeah, I hear it's gonna be a good game for like factions though, like
Mhm.
Isle, because they got a lot of like new factions in that game, and they got some older ones coming back. It's gonna be. I'm hyped, honestly. Deep Winter remaster window.
Yeah, the thing about Deep Winter is like all ATF games, like they revolve around factions, but it felt like Deep Winter was one of the games where like it had a lot of single person activities too, like
Yeah,
being a lone wanderer, you could do stuff in the game. In Mirage, you can. It's just it feels a little less
a lot of
important.
factions.
Yeah,
And
like
yeah,
the factions kind of
a lot of
rule the
faction
game.
arcs going on right now too.
Hmm. Which is fun. I mean, I'm not arguing
Yeah.
that. It's just Deep Winter was one of a kind.
Yeah, I
Early
remember like
Deep Winter.
The faction arcs being like, guys, we're gonna walk to Boulder Cove again, and then we're gonna do a training when we get back.
Yep.
Arc of the Century, boys.
Early Deep Winter seemed to
Dropping shade on
focus
the
on
SLF.
it seemed to focus on the player rather than the faction because at the
Yeah,
time there
that's
weren't
true.
a lot of factions and the lore wasn't fully, out yet. And then it went on to turn into faction wars, but in a different way than it is for Mirage. In Mirage, there are too many restrictions. In Deep Winter, there were too little, and that's why
Yeah.
it got out of control.
You
yeah.
gotta have that like perfect amount right in the middle.
Yep.
I
But
don't
like,
think,
yeah, I remember like me and my buddy Hyper, like we'd like sometimes we'd hop on Deep Winter and just like
People
be
always
like,
want to suck off Deep Winter. It was good, but it wasn't, the best. And,
that's
Yeah,
I'm
true.
no.
That's true.
hopeful.
it's kind of like everybody's got their like everybody remembers their childhood as the best just because it was their childhood, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you look
we
back on
remember
it
the
like Sarah said
2010s.
with
The
like
2010s
rose
are the
tinted
best for
glasses.
us, and then for our grandparents, it's the 1960s. They all have their flaws, but I mean, it was ours, which is why we
The Jungle Wars of '65.
the jungle. Fortunate
But
sunsets blasting in the background. I mean,
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, like I like Deep Winter. Like I know it wasn't perfect, but it like I remember just like hopping on with Hyper, like I said, and we'd be like two lone survivors, just having our own story and like just trying to survive. It's like that final mission in Halo Reach. Your main objective just survive. I mean, you end up fucking getting killed, but
Thing is, you can do that in any game as long
Mhm.
as you have friends. Me and Gipka and a few others have been doing that in Mirage since I met him.
like yeah, with friends, it's a lot more fun, and it's better to like have friends while you're doing it without just like being alone and just doing it by yourself. Like it's kind of like boring after a little bit.
Yeah, good
You-
mix of it. You shouldn't want to be in a crowd at all times because
Yeah.
then it results in OC festing. But if you know how to go move between groups, hang out with people for a bit, then go back to them, and then do your own thing.
No,
Aside
we
from my
lost
mic
Mac
I
off.
there
mean,
for a second.
definitely like one of the best things that the LPM slash moderators did was revise the fan faction rules and all that just because I mean of course you got some of the things with the people who want to be like a military group like that, but I mean a lot of the things like you get all these fun little groups of friends who just walk around like a caravan and just have
Well,
fun.
not all of them are factions.
No, I say fan faction really loosely, like the fan faction rules that you put in with the 15 member limit.
Yeah.
And yeah, those friends
I
groups.
kind of like that
Yeah.
because it kind of like adds like more things that you could like do to the story and like more interactions with different groups.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't want to be a nerd being like, immersion, but like I do feel like in a wasteland setting there would be a lot of people that would band together and try to survive and like create their own groups. So I think that was a really good idea. I remember before it was just like I don't know, it kind of sucked because we didn't really have
Kind of a
like
pain.
you couldn't really have like a faction or fan faction that was against the rules.
You remember
and
all the fun we had with the Mori gang, Moose?
that was that time we stole Sir Andrew's seal suit or
Yeah.
part of it. That was those were the
there were
days.
like
Man.
15 people outside of the garage, and us four
Yeah,
were
Saki
in
came
there.
in. He fired a freaking grenade launcher.
We-
Like I
we-
don't know if it was at the building, and when like we ended up like blasting a hole through the wall to like
Oh
get
yeah, it
out.
was Nova Phoenix and Grogley.
Yeah, that's why we had to get part of Sir Andrew's seal suit to fix Nova's
Yeah.
like broken down suit. And even Sir Andrew was like, "Hey, that was a really fun
Yeah,
roleplay."
it was.
Like you don't gotta like win to have fun. Like honestly,
We still
you
have photos of that.
could,
Hopefully, you
some.
didn't break any rules during that, did you?
No.
Nah, we didn't. We didn't.
Nope.
Good.
We had even Andrew was like, yeah, like we, it was a really good, enjoyable roleplay, and like we ended up befriending his seal afterwards, even though we kind of like shot him. I don't know how that
You
happened.
befriended him and then you shot him. Good job.
See what
No,
we did.
we shot at him. Scrappy ran over him with a car,
and he
and
fell off the
then,
bridge.
we all fell off the bridge. I remember Andrew was like, yeah, you can run into me with your car, just like roll.
Is that your guys' way of it, like initiation?
No, what we did, we were outlaws. The Mori gang was the longest lasting group of wanted men on priority wanted. In
Oh yeah, on
bounty
the
board.
CV
Yeah.
bounty board. That was a gentleman.
That was
Good
my
times.
character, William Mori, right? So we were hunting after this seal to get some of his parts for one of our seal friends whose suit was destroyed. and we found one, and we rammed his, like, once he was on the bridge, we rammed him with a car and knocked him off the bridge. Then we dragged him into the canoe garage, if you remember that. We started
The
taking
boat
off his,
shop.
started working to try and convince him to take off his suit and just help give him some of the parts, right? And then a bunch of people showed up, and Saki was there, and it was we locked down the garage and sat in there, and we were trying to negotiate, and people were trying to lift up the garage while we had it caged down, and we Nova Phoenix, he kicked a hole through the wall after asking Saki if he could do that, and we all ran away.
Yeah, I remember that. That was back in like November before like the snow map
Yeah,
like
it's a
came
real
in
long
for
time ago.
winter. Yeah, that was probably genuinely one of the most fun like RPs I've
Mhm.
had, to be honest. Me, you, Nova Phoenix, Gragley, and Sir Andrew too. Those
And
were the days,
Midlosh
man.
too.
Oh yeah, Midlosh was there too. I remember that.
Yep, Liam, he was hiding in the canoe because he was scared as
Oh,
hell.
I remember that. Yeah, and then we just dipped, broke a hole in the wall, just got the hell out of there.
All right, I didn't ask for another fucking tale of How I Met Your Mother, dude. Come on. Roll on.
We're reminiscing too much. I'm sorry.
Reminiscent.
Moose was talking about. He said that he was going to talk about the logs later.
Oh yeah.
Specific
Oh yeah, the logs for
Shoot.
like the market,
market.
and like
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like the market logs are like the best logs in like all the ATF, to be honest.
All right, don't fuck me off. too much.
Beaver wrote like 8 paragraphs,
I don't.
like a whole essay.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just kind of get into it too much.
I actually do enjoy reading them.
Thank
Instead
you,
of
thank
like
you.
being like, we went here, this is what we got. One of us died.
The end.
I feel like I kind of do
I would
that.
say-
Like I don't write that much for my
Oh,
logs.
if it's not really an important host, then you shouldn't worry
Then-
about it.
Yeah, I mean, even like if I host and it's not that important, like I'll try to put some detail into it, but I won't drag it out for too long. Like, if not much happened, I mean, not much happened. But like for those important hosts, those are the ones where I'll be sitting there for like 2-3 hours just typing up a freaking novel, man. Like, I don't know. It.
What'd
Wait, what were you gonna say?
What'd you think of the most recent event we did?
Oh, the Rad 8's fighting. I really liked it. I feel like it was really. I like how you and Admiral Gene weren't like speed typing each other. It was more like turn based, and you guys put a lot of like details into
Mhm.
your actions and all that. I know like Tara would be like, freaking nerd," but like I don't know. I feel like it was really enjoyable to watch instead of just seeing people speed type each other. Like I'd claw his face or I don't know all that.
I often try to do that in most fights. Well,
Yeah, I
sometimes
know.
you can't avoid it. Sometimes you have to fucking speed type the other person. But sometimes when you can get the spotlight on you for other people, like sometimes people would set up fighting rings with the prop
Yeah.
placer and Mirage. And like I'd get in the ring with someone and I'd like whisper them, "Hey, do you want to do like an event for some like the people watching us?
Yeah.
You want to do like descriptive D20, take turns and shit."
It's
you
really
know?
neat.
And then I'd do it with them, and then people would be like, "Wow, that was so cool. Why can't my fights be like that?" And I'd be like, "Really?"
Yeah. It's nice because
It's
it
like,
makes
'cause you don't
it makes
ask.
the whole experience like good for like everyone like watching
I
and
try
for
to-
like both sides fighting.
I try to encourage that kind of way of fighting, like just not.
Yeah.
Like you can predict an ATF move. Like if somebody's trying to fight you, they walk up to you, they'd be like, "I slug your jaw." If you just typed like duck out of the way before, and sent it before he threw the punch, you can fucking start countering every time. It's
Oh my.
the way to win fights if you're not a speed typer is to try to outthink the other person. Try to
Yeah.
think of what they're saying because speed typers tend to usually follow a pattern with their attacks. It's usually I'd punch them in either the jaw or the gut, and then they'd try to kick you, and then they'd like keep doing shit while you're down. If you can do something out of the ordinary, say like you grab a piece of furniture and like throw it at them, they won't know what to do because they're not used to typing. He'd get out of the way of the chair, or he'd grab it, or
Yeah.
whatever, and then would give you an opening to rush up and attack. You gotta
That's true.
outthink the other
You're
person.
gonna change the meta by saying this. I hope you know that. You're gonna fucking ruin it.
Oh my
Well,
god.
no,
I'm
I
kidding.
think since a lot of people are watching this, they might get good ideas like how to RP better, how to make the experience more enjoyable. I have to deal with a lot of fucking OC arguments of people just not being able to accept shit happening to each other, and they'd argue and be like, well, and then after I explain it to them, they'd actually be really passive and be like, well, why didn't I think of that? Well, why are we arguing right now? And they'd usually squash it because I'd make them think logically about why they're arguing and come to a conclusion that's fair for whoever would logically win in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, it's a Roblox game. As long as we all have fun, like that's really all that matters.
Dude, I was talking to somebody. They were in the Blastaway Discord, the No Man's Wasteland Discord. Those kinds of like communities, they're like, we're so good. ATF is so shitty. All it has is FRP and CRPers. We got the best community ever. And then you go in their Discord, and all it is just them shit talking ATF. That's all they do. And then when you go in game, all they do is like suck up to the owner. And then that's their.
I remember earlier, I think someone said that they were shit talking ATF factions for having acronyms.
What?
Like the Civilian Defense Front being the CDF and the SLF being the Southwest Liberation Front.
Their factions had acronyms too, and they're like, no, but we have nicknames as well.
Who cares? What's the big deal?
I've seen people like make fun of like acronyms and come up with different words for it. Like my friend Jack Losh, he looked up SLF on the internet and it came up with stiff little fingers or something. Like that.
Oh dear God! Didn't Lady Jade go to No Man's Wasteland after she got banned?
She got banned?
No, she went to Farlands.
Farlands, yeah. I think
she got banned again.
I don't think so.
I remember like some buddies telling me, yeah, Lady Jade's part of the No Man Wasteland community now. Like, well, that says a lot about them.
What do you expect of 20-year-olds who have stuck around and still do the same shit they did when they were fucking 12?
Remember Ryan, the epic guy?
Oh God.
Name drop.
Name drop.
Wow.
Why would you say that, Dorp? That's so uncool.
This podcast was sponsored by the Poop Dealer and his 100 alts to join Flashstorm. Please don't raid me. Please don't raid anymore. Please, dude. Please, come on. I know you're going to see this. Please.
I don't know why the guy makes so many fucking alts.
You fool.
Yeah,
I have 70 other alternate accounts.
Got banned over the most fucking, minuscule, like kind of, monotone shit, and then he made the biggest stink over it.
I
think it was just toxicity, and then he comes in every day.
Yeah, I remember Chad opened the meme portal, and he changed Flashstorm's name to Poop's Domain or something like that.
What?
Yeah, this happened a few days ago. He's permabanned though, right? Like he can't come back like ever.
Yeah. Well, I think he ruined his chances of appeal by ulting.
Like over 100 times.
Just about.
I'm pretty sure he also every single day he pings all of the Farlands like moderators in the Discord, and then he gets banned, and then he'll do it again, and then he'll get banned again.
It's become routine for him.
Yeah, like does he have nothing else better to do?
Another day, another dollar.
Thank you all for watching, lovely patrons. You can subscribe to my OnlyFans, www.onlyfans.com/skeleton. Thank you for coming out, and peace.
Thanks for being on tonight, guys.
It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for having.
It's been a lot of fun, indeed.